are tied at halftime in this battle between the last two Super Bowl champions.
This is the kind of game that could be decided by a turnover. He fires, it's intercepted on a deflection. There's the turnover. And this could be the game right here. Touchdown! They did it again.
The Chiefs are going to go to 0-2 for the first time since 2014.
Obviously, this isn't how we wanted to start, but how are we going to respond? I'm excited for the next few weeks to see who wants to be challenged and how we can get back and really get after it.
We're not talking about a prolonged losing streak, but Patrick Mahomes has never been on the wrong end of 3 consecutive scores as a professional, has now dating back to the Super Bowl. 0-2 for the first time to start a year in 11 years. 17-game win streak in games decided by one score. Everyone said, you can't sustain that. 17 was a preposterous run, but now they've dropped 2 in a row. And Ryan, I don't think anyone who's sane or reasonable would suggest that Kansas City now somehow stinks or isn't great. They're still the Kansas City Chiefs. But when an air of invincibility and an aura of invincibility gets poked, and then you're just seen as, we could beat this team. It feels like that's how the better teams view them. What do you see with Kansas City now?
Well, I think for Kansas City, you were already so good at the start of Patrick Mahomes' career that your ceiling was a lot closer to where you were than some of these other teams. Right. And as we've seen Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and some of these other teams ascend, the gap has closed. But it also doesn't help you when a lot of those players that you expected to have on the field aren't available, when Xavier Worthy is not available, when Rashee Rice is on suspension. And so it is going to be difficult to produce at that high level consistently. So for the Kansas City Chiefs is, how do you get to Game 7? When we get to Game 7, are we 2-4? Are we 3-3? When Rashee Rice is back, because you look at Tyquan Thornton and what he's been able to do. Steve Spagnuolo stepping up the pressure last week against the Philadelphia Eagles and making Jalen Hurts uncomfortable. This team is still going to be highly competitive. So where are you when you get to the witching hour?
The 0-2 would matter if 15 wasn't a quarterback.
Okay.
I'd be like, 12% ain't a good number. He's defied percentages since he stepped into the starting role with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I like what you said, RC. The games are still competitive. For as much as we talking about the Chiefs, I said last week, I felt like they lost a little bit of their stinger. The physicality in the Chargers game wasn't there for me. Look, Philly is a physical, dominating team. The offensive line is their identity. That's how they do things. I didn't think this was a terrible job by Kansas City. But you could see the lack of personnel show up from time to time.
Well, I mean, you're missing a wide receiver 1 in Rice. He'll be back after 6 games. And Xavier Worthy is to take the top off the defense 100%. Guy, too. So you add not 1 but 2 gigantic pieces to your offense. And I think it's very reasonable to say they'll be a different team when that happens.
And both of them things can be true, JK. You can have lost some of that aura and still be a hell of a team.
And I'm going to say this, and we could talk about lost aura and it be aura forming and all these things these young folks talking about. You want me to tell you when it'll come back? If the Kansas City Chiefs get into the playoffs,
100%.
And if Patrick Mahomes walk into your stadium, and even though he's on the road, you're going to remember, that aura when he had to go through Buffalo and Baltimore
100%.
and win the
no
Super Bowl.
doubt. And they're graded against themselves. And when they
Yeah.
haven't lost one-score games and they lose a couple in a row, then it leads to segments like this. Yeah. Not surprisingly, we will pivot to Philadelphia, and I'll look at you. This Philadelphia Eagle team hasn't been wowing anyone, but as Saquon said to me on SportsCenter, or I said to him, no pictures on a scorecard when you play golf. Their their record says they're 2-0, and they go and beat KC and Arrowhead.
Yes.
What's Philadelphia showing you in winning with resolve these first 2?
Well, I think that they're finding a way to win, right? The offense hasn't been spectacular, but they've been consistent and gotten the job done. Defensively, I thought they played much better this week against Kansas City. And I think, listen, it's like they're kind of where Kansas City was last year, where they have so much momentum built up from the Super Bowl and everything that they've done last year that it almost feels inevitable that they're going to win games at this point. And they're finding a way to close out tight games early on.
Yeah. When it comes to brotherly shove, tush push, there's a tonnage of conversation today, and I'll just let our viewers at home know. I'm asking you specifically via text. I'm not being a hater. I'm just asking, there was that one down the line shot where it feels like the guards are both a little early. What are we seeing in real time versus what we see when we slow that down right there?
Well, this is clearly a false start. If you slow it down like this, it's very evident that the guards are moving first. The thing is, it's very hard to see that in real time.
Yeah.
Thank
Right?
you for
Especially,
Hey,
and let's be honest, the defensive line benefits from this as well at times. Not right and during this play.
Yeah.
Right? But this is a crucial
Yep.
play. It's 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. It extends drives, so it obviously gets put under
Y'all
a huge
cheating.
microscope.
I don't want to make you a snitch,
Go ahead.
but I almost want to ask,
Sure.
in your preparation for it, do the coaches and do those players on the offensive line understand that that's difficult to decipher in such a quick time and short time?
I think the guards, the tackles, everybody is trying to get off on the snap. Everyone knows the imperativeness with that short yardage of a play to get off on the snap. And the one that was really exacerbated with the guards move first, I actually think Cam was probably a little bit late on that one because it was more of a quick one. Like they snapped it very quickly once Jalen got under center.
Where my camera at? Where my camera at?
Right here. I
Put the
think it's
camera
right
on
here.
my face.
I think it's
This is
right
my
here.
camera right here.
Yeah.
Zoom in. Zoom in. Hey, D-line coaches, before the games, tell the refs to watch for false start on the tush push, please.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm sick of it.
They are telling them to watch.
Do you think they don't tell them?
No. Tell them to call it.
They need to call it. And this is what Philly,
I ain't gonna watch you punch me
And
in
this
my
is the
face.
reality.
I'm gonna do something about it.
Philadelphia needs to take this very seriously. They need to look back and they need to tell Landon, they need to tell Tyler Steen to just do not be early.
Come on,
be
man.
on the snap. And they need to do this more just for the optics of what's happening. I guarantee Philadelphia is tired of hearing this nonsense about they're cheating every single time. These guys are not trying to cheat. I very firmly believe that.
I think two things. Go ahead.
What they also need to do is they need to give the line judges binoculars because they're 70 feet away. If they have binoculars, they can see that false start way easier.
Two things can be true at once. Two things can be true at once.
And I'll say this. There are probably 9 or 10 plays I can point to, and not to throw shade at anybody, where Chris Jones and the best defensive lineman in the world line up in the neutral zone.
Yeah, for sure.
Every great player
Don't
is
call
finding
that,
a way.
Don't call that.
Exactly.
Don't call it.
Every great player, whether it's a great tackle, a great D lineman,
yeah.
they're finding ways to get an edge.
For sure.
That's the reality of it.
That's what life is.
Yeah, well,
And the
no,
margins,
cheating, you
figuring
ain't
out the
trying.
margins how to
That's the
find that.
reality.